Hello. So, I know I had just posted a video that said that I was going to talk about my third story, but I recorded it, and in all its boringness, it was like a 10-minute long video, and I just, after thinking about it when it was almost about to preview, I just thought about how I didn't really need to be disclosing that information just because I didn't want to get in trouble for it. Because I'm pretty sure if the person who was about saw it, and it wasn't bad, it was nice to them. If they saw it, I could get in trouble, and I didn't really want that, and it wasn't really worth it. So, it wasn't that good of a story anyway, I guess. So, I just want to make one more video just kind of talking about inspirations in general, and just talk about people who really have inspired me. And I want to split it into four different categories. I want to talk about personal, like life inspirations, spiritual, musical, and there was a fourth one I forgot. Oh, YouTube. Just because I want people to know that I'm never claiming to be I guess this is vlogging, a vlogger or anything, and I'm not even worth being able to do it because there's so many people better than me, but I just want to kind of make videos so people can see how dumb they are and just maybe relate to some of the stuff I'm talking about because I think it would have been cool to see people do that when I was younger. So my first one, personal inspirations. This one probably is the least interesting just because I can't really think of a lot. But I'd probably just say my parents, just because I love them so much and they mean a lot to me and have influenced my life a lot. And just some friends in my family have. No one like, I guess the other two categories fill it more. I guess personal and spiritual could go in one, but I just put them in two, so it would seem like I had more to talk about. But the second category, spiritual, would definitely be like the pastors at my church, like our main pastor, Londa Ramsey, and the youth pastor, her husband, Brent, who is my mentor and has just been so helpful for me with transitioning to North Central in the fall. And I'm looking forward to getting to know him more. And also, Rachel Tudo has been a big influence spiritually on me, and she was a mentor to me last year. And just all these different people. And I guess a lot of my family friends from church have too. Just, and obviously, not to sound too corny, but I guess Jesus has because he basically defines who I am. Um, okay, so the one that I want to talk about probably the most is the musical one, because music is a different category I wanted to talk about. And so some musical inspirations to me have been, well, there are a lot of artists who have inspired me for different reasons. First, some I don't really look up to, but have inspired me just because of their creativity, like Lady Gaga and Katy Perry have I just the only reason I like them is because of how no matter how strange it can be, just they've been such an inspiration in the fact that it makes me think that no matter what I do, like no matter how weird it is, that I don't know, I guess it's normal to them. But whatever. Some others like I guess in all her weirdness, Kesha, because she to me, even though 90% of the time she's drunk, to me she just seems like someone who just wants to have a good time, and even though she looks to the wrong outlets for it, she to me has just seemed like someone who just wants to have fun, which is something I'm all about, like musically, and if I could just have fun for the rest of my life, that's what I'd be doing because that's all I really want to do is just have fun. And some people, I guess Miley has, because of me all liking her and stuff, and just to me, she kind of defined some of my childhood because, well, I guess not childhood, I guess teenage years. Just because she kind of showed me, she kind of like gave me the courage to just be who I am. And it just made me really, actually, really sad when I found out that she was becoming such a bad person because I knew that I didn't want another Lindsay Lohan incident because actually, just recently, I saw the movie Mean Girls on TV, and I remember seeing it with my best friend when I was younger. And so and it was only like $5 on iTunes, so I just bought it. And I really liked Lindsay in it, so I bought her CDs, her two CDs, and I actually listened to them for like 2 days. And the first one, that one was pretty good, but the second one I actually didn't really like a lot because it seemed so different to me and so much more depressed and less wanting to have fun. And that's, I think, a little bit before she just cracked and started lesbianizing herself. And yeah, and I don't want Miley to go down that because even though right now it looks like that's the case, I don't want that for her. And Demi has a little just because of how she, I saw her in concert and she seemed like the nicest person ever. And that's, if I was ever famous, that's the kind of person I would want to be. Just someone who is able to just be so successful and make pretty good music, but yet is so nice and down to earth like her that I'm glad that she was in rehab and able to get those things worked out because most celebrities like Lindsay don't have the courage to do that. And hopefully Miley doesn't go down that. And lastly, I definitely say Selena Gomez just because even though I've only really had a crush on her for like 5 months or so, she to me seems like the most down to earth person ever. Like, I don't know. She, I guess, is probably one of the main people who's inspired me musically just because her songs I love so much. And she just seems like such a fun loving spirit. And even though she has almost all of the popularity that Miley has, with her show being about just as popular and her coming out with a third CD now, which definitely made my day yesterday finding that out. I she's still as down to earth as she was when she first stepped out on Wizards, and it just makes me so happy to see that. And I hope she's always like that. And if I ever got the chance to meet her, I know that I wouldn't think twice because I want to have people like that in my life, per se. And lastly, some YouTube inspirations. There are 4 or 5. I guess the least would be not really an inspiration, but just kind of a joy is Fred. Because his videos, I think, are kind of funny. And some of them have made me laugh. And I just like randomness, as I said, with iCarly. And then the 4 that have kind of inspired me is probably the least out of these 4 is Ray William Johnson, just because I really like his videos, and I think something that I really like to do is just kind of give my opinion about stuff, and I really think it's cool how he's able to do that and stuff. And then another one that I've really come to know recently is Glozell. She is honestly the funniest woman alive. I just watch her videos and it makes my day because that is exactly the person who I want to be when I'm that age, is someone who doesn't necessarily criticize people, but just kind of gets down to the facts and says what we're all thinking. Like when all these singers are singing about getting beaten up and stuff like Rihanna, we're all thinking the exact same thing, that their life's just messed up, but she has the actual guts to say it, and she's so fun loving. And I actually have the privilege of being followed by her on Twitter, so she's one of my 6 followers. Uh, and so she has. And then one, I guess mainly for vlogging, is I Justine. And I Justine, to me, is probably one of the nicest girls I've ever seen and prettiest. Just because she seems so fun loving, and even though she's like 7 years older than me, maybe 8, she seems like someone I could really relate to just because of how fun loving and hyper and just a girl who doesn't have to swear or talk about drinking or anything to have a good time in her videos. And I'd say the one that's probably had the most impact on me is Shane Dawson, just because I kind of relate to him because he talked about being overweight and stuff and like feeling depressed and stuff. So that was kind of me. And I love his videos and enjoyed watching him and just love him. And yeah, so leave a comment saying who your inspirations are and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And I will see you when I come up with another video to make. Yeah.